We started? Oh, shit.
3, 2, 1.
3.
Welcome back to Chit Chats, everybody.
Woo.
My name is Antonio.
Woo. My name is Brennen.
And let's have a chit chat. Hey.
Both of us. Both of us.
Both of us to start
season
off
two, episode 1.
Yes.
We're talking at the same time.
Yep. We're gonna do that every episode. I decided now. We have to do it together.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be so fun, and so is this season of Chit Chats. Because welcome back to Chit Chats, everybody. This is season 2, the first episode of season 2. And we got some fun stuff that we're gonna talk about. And by fun stuff, I mean we're gonna talk about the ominous light coming from Brennan's crotch area right now.
I just blinded myself with it.
Blinded him. It's very cool, and yeah, and that's gonna be the main topic. No, but for real. Today I figured we would just have a chill Chit Chats episode. No guests, no special games or anything. So this might be a very boring episode. Sorry to say, but that's just how things are going to go. But regardless, I hope you stick around for this season. Hope anyone that watches is going to like. I have some good plans for what we're going to do in this season. Hope you're excited, Brennan, because
I know none of them.
I'm forced. See, if you were next to me, I'd be grabbing your neck and choking you right now. Not in a promiscuous way, though.
Oh, fuck that! I'm out of here.
Anyway, yeah. So I just figured we kind of talk about what we did over winter break, or some fun things that we got going on in life right now. Just kind of some chill stuff, kind of like the first episode that we ever did of Chit Chats, like a whole year ago. Can you believe that the first episode was like a year ago? Almost exactly a year ago?
No.
That's crazy. Time flies so fast when you're not having fun. So, so obviously it's the new year. It's 2022. And we just got back from our winter break. We took a little break from recording episodes. And so, Brennan, how was your winter break, if you don't mind me asking?
It wasn't too bad.
Should we address the elephant in the room of what occurred over winter break?
Yeah,
I think we kind of have to. Like, I feel like that's like
So me and Antonio both got COVID.
So yeah, let's just rip the bandage right off. That's what happened. And let this be a lesson to anyone. Be safe. Mask up. And if you decide to talk to people or hang out with friends.
Eat grass, sled fast, and eat ass.
The 3 rules of life. Yes. But basically, what happened? Whatever the opposite of abridged is, because abridged is like condensed, but like the expanded version of the story is that me and Brennan got together to record some episodes of Cooking with Brennan, which we were able to finish, which is nice.
Thank God.
And we were together, and Brennan, I believe you said you weren't feeling too well, but it was like very minor at the time, right?
It was literally just a sore throat, which I had already had for like 2 or 3 days.
Like you didn't really have any other symptoms.
Yeah, and like
right?
it was like the best day of like the 3 days that I had the sore throat.
Right. So like I thought
I was getting better.
Right. So essentially like you felt like you were a little sick, but like not anything drastic. And Brennan, I'd say that you're pretty safe with COVID. Like I don't feel like I have to worry about that with you. You know what I mean? Like you wear your mask.
Yeah. I probably got it because I work in a grocery store.
Probably because unfortunately, people that go to grocery stores are not always the cleanest. And that's just the fact with life, unfortunately. But essentially, we were together. We were in close proximity. We were, probably this is going to sound really gross, but probably, how do I put this? We were breathing next to each other, and that breath was entering each other. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that. Essentially, Brennan passed it to me, and I started feeling sick.
So you see what happens is I grabbed him and I coughed in his mouth.
Yeah, so Brennan grabbed me by the throat, and he just said, "Open your mouth," and then he just went, ah! And it was really cool. And that's how it happened.
Stop talking. That's how it happened. Stop. This needs to stop.
But see, here's the thing though. I started feeling sick, not that day, but like a couple days after, right?
Yeah.
And but here's the thing: the day that I started feeling sick, like right before the night before, or the day before the night that I started feeling sick, um, I got my booster shot. And so my like interpretation of it was that I was just feeling symptoms from the booster shot because I was like, maybe this booster shot just had a bad effect on me because the previous two, when I got the first two shots of the vaccine, they didn't really affect me at all. Like what obviously they made my arm hurt, but like that was like the extent of it. But this one actually like made me feel, or at least I thought it made me feel sick because I was like, oh, this is just the reaction I'm having. It wasn't until 2 days later when me and my mom were driving to Portland that you texted me and you told me about the light that you're flashing in the back right now, which is distracting from the story that I'm trying to tell.
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So as I was saying, I'm the person that you should be focusing on in this episode. Okay. I'm the narcissistic one. Okay. We were driving to Portland, and and then Brennan messaged me, and he was like, "Hey, I just got tested positive," and then I put all the pieces together, and I was like, "Well, I have COVID," and I was really hopeful that I didn't, but I did end up taking a test, and I was positive. So we had a really fun winter break after that point. Isn't that right, Brennan?
Yeah.
What did you do during your time in quarantine?
Died.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too. Yeah, this is welcome to the ghost episode of Chit Chats where we're both dead.
A shitload of Minecraft.
A shitload of Minecraft. Why Minecraft specifically? I remember you mentioned that to me, and I was just like, "That's a really
cave update."
The cave update. That's right. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah. So, what did the cave update add?
Big ass caves.
Big caves. Wow,
dude, like huge caves. Yeah.
So they were like, "What if Minecraft but big cave is essentially?"
Well, so there's different kind of caves now too. So there's like there's like dripstone caves that have like those like spiky rocks that like fall from the ceiling, and there's like lush caves that have like ponds and koi fish and like.
So before this plants. Update, was there only like one type of cave?
There was one type of cave, and it was just like tunnels.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
But now there's a shitload of. I stabbed myself with my knife at work. It hurts.
Well, you're holding it. You're casually holding the. Anyway, go on.
Shut up. But yeah, it's just really cool. And like there's like my favorite one is there's these things called cheese caves, and they're called that because it's these huge open rooms where there's like all these little offshoots. So it kind of looks like Swiss cheese, kind of like the holes.
Sure, yeah.
So they're called cheese caves. There's just like holes everywhere.
Interesting. Okay.
It's cool.
All right. That's neat. Okay, yeah. No, I haven't played Minecraft. I think in like a year. I think that was the last time I played it, and I knew. See, I kept hearing about the cave update, and I just wasn't like proactive enough to like look up when it was coming out. So I had no idea that it was going to come out like recently, and then so I guess it did. So that's cool. I'll have to check that out sometime. Yeah. But now that we're out of quarantine and we're back in school, I don't know how much time I'll have to do that. But we'll,
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, so we're back in school. And how's that going for you, Brennan? After it's only been a week.
So far so good. I'm learning to do a new version of welding that I've never done before.
That's pretty awesome.
It's kicking my ass a little bit, but it's fun.
I'm sure you'll do it.
I have to because I want to be a wire welder, so I have to learn how to do it.
Yeah,
it's a form of wire welding, and that's what I want to be as a wire welder. So,
right. It's.
But I mean, it's fun. So.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I think it wouldn't be fun if it was easy for you. So like,
yeah.
That's just how it goes. That's how school goes. It's the same with me. I'm struggling in my math classes right now, which is what my major is, and it's like it's weird because it's like it makes me feel bad. It's like I'm supposed to be good at this. Like, why am I struggling in these classes? But then you remember that
I only had to take one math class.
Yeah. Well, yeah, good for you. But
algebra for technicians.
Yeah. But you have to remember, like, even if you're not good at like even if you start out you're like struggle with something that you're like proficient in, it's like it's all part of the learning process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you get better as time goes on. You can say that about anything, but that's just how it is. Now, Brennan, I've been wanting to talk about this because this is a random topic, but it's
I
something
didn't
that
do it.
what?
I didn't
What?
do it.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. But what I wanted to say is I want to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe because we've
Oh
had
boy.
some pretty big things happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the
Yeah.
past month. Not just Spider-Man related, but mostly Spider-Man related.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about that. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. I am now. Only thing I haven't seen so far is Eternals. but
That's fine
that
because I also have not seen
but
Eternals.
that comes to Disney Plus here soon. So I'll
Yes,
watch
it
that when it
does.
comes out.
But this is now becoming the Marvel podcast episode. So if you do not want to hear spoilers for whatever, I'm pretty sure by the time this episode comes out, I'm pretty sure everyone on the planet and their moms will have seen the new Spider-Man movie.
Hopefully.
So like,
You're gonna tell this
probably
episode. You're gonna
don't
tell
even
this
worry about it.
episode like catching up in Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't have the drive to watch the Marvel movies or the Marvel shows, like then let this be like a refresher for you. Which I don't know why you would because they're so good. But anyway, so before we talk about Spider-Man, I want to talk about Hawkeye because that was the other thing,
Ooh, dude.
other major
Oh my god.
part of the MCU that transpired happened during winter break. And I actually sat down and I watched all of it. I didn't watch all of Falcon and Winter Soldier or all of What If, so I'm behind on those. But I did sit down and I watched Hawkeye, and I liked it.
Good. Good. It was
What it,
great. I loved Hawkeye.
I
It
really
was
do, and
which is so sad too because in my personal opinion, it did the worst when it came to like how many people watched it compared out of like all the with Disney shows.
yeah.
But it is my favorite of the Disney shows.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay,
I
so it's my favorite show that's come out of the Disney shows,
uh-huh.
but nothing will beat the episode of What If that introduced uh Strange Supreme,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Doctor
See, I
Strange
didn't.
Supreme.
I'm aware of Strange Supreme because of something Spider
Else
Man.
that we can talk about later.
Yeah, but I did not watch I think the only episode of What If I saw was the zombies episode.
Oh, that was a good one
And
too.
that was
They're
mainly
making a full
because
series on that.
what
They're making a
they're
full
making.
series
Yeah,
on
I
that.
heard about that. I heard about that. Which eventually I will watch it. I think there's something about the fact that it's animated that has like deterred me from it. I don't know why though.
All I watch is animated, so like for me, it's like
Like for me, when
it's
I
like
associate
normal.
I'm sure like it's so dumb because I feel like the fact that it's animated it doesn't detract from the entertainment value, but there's something about the live action, like shows and movies that like entice me more because I guess it's just more like it looks more real. I mean, obviously, like that's a given, but like that's just like
Yeah,
animation. Animation's always great. So, but yeah, with Hawkeye, I've always been like sort of like a fan of Hawkeye just because I feel like he's like the underdog that's like hated on the most. I mean,
yeah, for
it's
sure.
pretty clear that he is, but like I'm glad that they gave him his own show because I think it allowed for him to like kind of show like more of his
But
badass
and also, but
traits.
also, this show was what this show was. What the show was supposed to do is, uh, it was supposed to really show that Clint, the Hawkeye we know, is slowly fading.
Yeah,
From being he's supposed to be retired, and so
yeah,
like one of the things fans notice that's actually really sad is if you look at the official casting for like the show's characters.
uh huh,
If you look at Jeremy Renner, it says he's casted as Clint Barton, right?
right,
But if you look at what's her name, the girl who played Kate Bishop,
yeah.
she's casted as Hawkeye
Well, there you go.
because that's and like in the end of the last spoilers in case you haven't
Yeah,
watched it, in the end of the last episode when she's like she's saying all these names, and then he's like,
Uh-huh.
you know what? I have an idea, and then it cuts to the title screen and says Hawkeye. That's supposed to be him being like, how about you just take the name Hawkeye?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's done. I like you can
He's
tell.
tried to be done many times.
I know, and you can tell so often throughout the series that he just does not want to be there. Like
Yeah.
he's just like he's done. Like he's having a good time, obviously, but he's like he wants to be like done with this Hawkeye thing. And I really like her name's Haley Steinfeld. I
Okay.
really like her. I think she's I think she's very good in the character. So I'm excited to see like where they take her in the Marvel universe. You know, like what role she play. I mean, she's probably just gonna be like the new Hawkeye, but like
Which I would be perfectly okay with.
yeah, same here because I think it's interesting to me how like so many of the OG characters from the original Avengers cast like left, but there's still a lot that are still around technically, like Thor, Hulk, like they're
Yeah.
still there. So like it makes you think like they're only really
Oh
there
man. One
to
of my
kind of like
favorite things, yeah, one of my favorite things that actually came out of the Hawkeye series was we got to see more of Yelena.
yeah, Yelena definitely was like
I
the highlight of
I
the series.
fucking love her.
Yeah, she's great.
Uh
Florence Pugh.
she's such a good the the scene where she spoilers the scene where she
I
breaks
don't even care
into
about. Just don't even worry about it. Just at this point.
the scene where she breaks into uh Kate's like old house after it burnt down, and
Yeah,
Kate like throws the sriracha bottle at her, and she catches it and goes, "Hi."
yeah. That's it's. I've watched that like several times on its own just because I love that whole scene.
I love the
Um,
way she talks. She just that's just like the best.
well, and see, here's the thing about Yelena is that I didn't watch Black Widow, so I didn't even know who she was until she came in the episode that she like debuted in. So I actually
Okay.
had to like research who she was, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I kind of spoiled myself on Black Widow, unfortunately, but like it is what it is, and I was enjoying the series, and so to get like the fact like now I have like this appreciation for Yelena. If I do go back and I watch Black Widow, which I probably will.
I would say go back and watch the Black Widow
Uh
just
huh.
for Yelena.
Yeah, I heard it was good. Like I've had both people tell me that it's definitely worth watching. So I
Yeah, it's good. It's just it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's just where it came out and when was
Mhm.
not like uh
Ideal. I'll
yeah.
help you out there.
Sorry, I like spaced out.
It's okay.
But yeah, like it was a good movie and it should have happened, but it should have happened sooner.
I agree. I agree. And
Like if they wanted to do it, like I feel like the only reason they made this movie was to introduce Yelena.
well,
And
I
if they
feel
want
like
to
it
do it
was
that
that,
way,
and it
they
was
could have
also
done it another way.
to kind of have like a more satisfying ending for for
Given like,
Natasha.
and we finally get like her backstory in full and shit like that, you know?
Yeah, well, and also I also read somewhere that they made Black Widow kind of as in a response because they wanted to have more female led superhero movies.
Dude, Yelena can lead any fucking movie, and I will watch. I will watch it.
I'm pretty sure she's gonna be like the new Black Widow. So like
She
that's
is. She's supposed to be the new Black Widow, and I'm so down for it.
so yeah. But that as I was saying earlier, like I feel like a lot of the old actors are kind of like they're kind of like getting fizzled out because they're like kind of passing off the torch to like new actors. That's happening with Hawkeye. That's happening with Black Widow. That's happening with Hulk. I think, and they're coming out with
She
the
Hulk.
new She-Hulk
Yeah, She Hulk.
show. That's happening with Ant-Man. I'm pretty sure. Iron Man, sort of. Not really, because like I was gonna say Spider-Man's like the new Iron Man, but like not really. Captain America's that happened with all these new Avengers characters.
Yeah, Miss Marvel will
Uh,
be introduced in Doctor Strange.
oh, I forgot about Miss Marvel. That's right.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so it'll like that's just. I mean, that was inevitable that was gonna happen because like obviously these actors are.
Monica Rambeau, the girl from WandaVision.
Mhm.
So it's just like I'm actually. I know people were such assholes after Endgame and were like, "Well, now where's Marvel gonna go?" And I'm like, "They're fucking going there, and it's gonna be great."
I know, yeah. Even I was kind of like that because I was kind of like, how can they possibly beat Infinity War and Endgame in terms of like scope? And the way that you do that is you introduce the fucking multiverse. And I was like, oh, okay, well, there you go. Now, like Marvel's still on top, basically. Okay, now I
Yeah.
want to transition to talking about Spider-Man because we've spent a lot of time on Hawkeye, and I love Hawkeye, but Spider-Man was
This
like
is this is
Spider-Man
the
blew
big
my mind.
that
Okay,
movie was
like
fucking amazing.
it was. I see what you did. Amazing. Uh,
Uh uh
I see it. Yeah. No.
oh wait, first, before we talk about anything, I want to tell you
Uh,
this because it's Spider-Man related, don't worry. It's
okay.
Spider-Man related.
Okay.
But Marvel movies have officially confirmed that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are part of the MCU. If you go
Well,
on
there you go.
marvel.com, Marvel's official like official like website
Uh
where
huh.
they have information on comic book characters, upcoming comic books, upcoming movies.
Yeah.
If you go to movie characters and look up Spider-Man, you will find friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Peter Parker,
I
which
did
is
see that.
Tobey
I
Maguire,
I
and it
did see
says
that.
he swings his way into the MCU in his iconic suit.
Yeah.
And then the Amazing Spider-Man says he comes into the MCU and some shit like that. But I'm like, it just makes me so happy that they're finally like officially like part of this shit now.
So essentially, what that means is if you're rewatching the MCU movies, you have to include the original Spider-Man
You
trilogy
have to include
and
the original
the
and Andrew Garfield.
Amazing Spider-Man duology. That's just how it works now.
Yes.
Funny story though, I haven't seen any of that.
What? Oh,
Uh,
that's right. No, wait, we talked about this.
yeah, I figured you knew that, but I just thought I'd remind you. I
Yeah, I knew. I just forgot.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna be quick to say like you can't truly appreciate Spider-Man No Way Home if you haven't seen those movies, and that might be true. There's that very well might be true, but here's the thing though. I haven't seen the movies, but I still understand their significance enough to where when I was watching it in the theater, I still freaked out. I freaked out just as much as everyone else because
Yes.
it's not even necessarily the aspect of that they're bringing in multiple franchise. Well, it is that. Well, it's not even that it's Spider-Man. It's the fact that they're bringing in from like 2 decades worth of movies is what
Yeah.
blew, or three iterations of Spider-Man movies is what blew my mind because I was like,
Because like this movie brought together.
that's crazy.
I've been a Spider-Man fan for years. I've been uh one of my biggest jokes is I have like my big three like subjects that I'm the biggest nerd on, and it's Zelda, Bleach, and Spider-Man.
I
And
was gonna say anime in general, but I feel like I guess Bleach is
yeah,
more.
well, like anime, like if I wanted to be like if I wanted to be big, I would say like Marvel, anime, and video games.
Yeah,
But like the
I guess if
close concept,
you're like trying to narrow it down more.
yeah. But like those are like my big three, and like seeing that movie because the Tobey Maguire movie came out in 2002, 2004, and 2007, and then the
Uh
Andrew
huh.
Garfield movies came out in 2012 and 2014. Uh, so for me, those movies were my childhood, my teenage years,
Yeah.
and then now Tom Holland's in my adult years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so seeing literally my entire life of the Spider-Man heroes like in that one movie,
It's mind
fucking
blowing.
crazy.
It's surreal because usually in the movie industry, what I don't like, I just feel like they don't acknowledge past iterations as much, or they acknowledge them, but so subtly, just because they know fans will like enjoy that. But like they more or less, whenever they do like a reboot of something, it's usually like a reboot. Like it's like they're doing it. It's like they're doing it for the first time again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, but
yeah,
for them to like actually acknowledge, like, hey, we have these other Spider-Man movies. We know that they're not technically part of the MCU. We're going to basically canonize them because we know that there's still fans that like those movies. That's pretty cool. You know,
yeah,
like that. Like, I just feel like that's just like a like. It makes me happy that we're like that we lived to like see that. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And one of my favorite things that I've been saying that I absolutely agree with is there was multiple villains in this movie, but
there's a lot of
clearly
villains
the
in this movie.
but clearly the main villain was Green Goblin.
Yeah.
He was the one who led all this and caused the most damage.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And the thing I love is that right now people are saying that as great as Endgame and Infinity War was, Green Goblin was a better villain And the only reason people
He
are saying
was
that is
fucking
because
scary.
if you think about it, almost every Marvel villain we've had in the last probably 5-6 years
Mm-hmm.
has been either someone with daddy issues, right? Someone who wanted to do something good but we're not doing it in the right way, right? Someone who was bad but you had a reason that you could understand, like you're like, oh yeah, that's it's terrible, I understand you. Or like people like Thanos who wanted to help humanity, but he's going to literally kill, millions, thousands, billions of people.
You're forgetting one category:
What?
people that were wronged by Tony Stark.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
But so there's all these villains that have had either things that you can relate to or you feel sorry for, or have had daddy issues, or hated other characters that for some odd reason they attacked the 16-year-old Mysterio.
Yeah.
So all these characters, and then there's just fucking Green Goblin who
And he's
wants
just fucking nuts.
nothing but to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Like that ending scene when he's fighting Green Goblin and he goes, "Oh, poor Peter Parker couldn't send me back to die." And he goes, "No, I want to kill you myself." And he just
Yeah.
smiles and goes, "That a boy." That just shows how much Green Goblin does not give a shit about
He's
anything.
a maniac.
He doesn't want power. He doesn't want rich. He doesn't want to do anything. He is just evil. And it was amazing seeing if Willem Dafoe stepped back into that character like he never fucking left.
Yeah, I
20
know.
years later.
Yeah.
20 years later.
I did see some of the original Spider-Man movie, so that's like the one that I most equipped with, and that's why I was able to appreciate Green Goblin so much. Is that I just feel like
Yeah.
he really stole the show with that role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely. I don't necessarily see the thing about what you're saying is I agree with you that he was a really good villain. I don't necessarily think because he's just evil that makes him a better villain. I think he played the character really well, but I guess for me at least, I prefer when villains do have like more depth to them. But like that's just preference, I guess.
But his was like, well, because his was like he was the split personality. He was
Yeah,
fighting
that's
Norman.
true.
It was a constant fight between Norman and the Goblin.
That's true, and
And like,
that I guess that does kind of like make him more complex, right? Because like he's not
yeah.
really even in control of that part of him.
Oh man, but like one of my favorite things ever was, I don't know if you'll know this because like you said you haven't seen all of the first Spider-Man movie.
Uh huh.
Um,
I know the memes also. Like I know that
okay.
I'm somewhat of a
I don't
scientist.
I don't think this was a meme though. That was referenced. That was cool.
Yeah, I knew that.
But there's a scene where Peter in the movie, he's talking to Aunt May and Aunt May's like, everybody knows how much you love MJ. And that made him realize, shit, the Goblin's going to know that too, because at that time the Goblin figured out that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So he goes to call MJ and she doesn't pick up, and he's like, "Hey, just in case, stay safe, don't go don't go blah blah." And then the line picks up and he thinks it's her, and then the Goblin starts laughing and says, "Can Spider-Man come out to play?"
Oh yeah.
Right? And I love the callback because when they think, "Oh, we did everything, we cured everyone," you just hear all their spider senses go off, and then you hear, "Can Spider-Man come out to play?" And he comes
Yeah.
flying down on his glider. I was
I
like,
knew
that's
that
such
was
a good callback.
I knew that was like a callback too, because you can just tell from
Yeah,
the way that it's implemented. It
it was
was
just,
he was terrifying, like
it
as
was
Green
just,
Goblin.
it was so good. It's just, Willem Dafoe, Tom Holland and Zendaya both said that working with him, it was like he was talking about like what are the favorite actors he worked with as villains, and he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about all of them, and he goes, the most terrifying I've worked with is Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, definitely.
They're like Zendaya was
Yeah,
saying how
for sure. Yeah.
they would be on set and you'd be talking to Willem like it was nothing, and he'd be super nice and laughing and cheering and talking about what the next scene was going to be, and then they would say action, and all of a sudden you looked like you were looking at a monster.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Like,
And so it was just seeing him in that character again, and seeing Alfred Molina and Doc Ock again, and Jamie Foxx getting a second chance as a good Electro, not the piece of shit thing we had from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
mm-hmm.
It was such a good fucking movie, dude.
And like I wonder what direction they're gonna go with Spider-Man now, because they basically just made him rebooted him essentially.
These people are saying that
You know?
these three movies have been like his origin story.
Yeah, definitely. I would say
And
so.
and I don't know if you've heard, but Amy Pascal, Kevin Feige's assistant,
Hmm.
and Tom Holland have confirmed that they are going to be doing at least 3 more Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
I did hear that. Yeah, so
Uh,
I'm excited for that.
it's going to be a while because he said he wants to take a break,
Hmm.
but he said that he is going to absolutely return as Spider-Man and is not done with the character yet, which is nice because he scared a lot of people because he was kind of teasing that he might not be coming back.
Hmm.
But once the movie came out, he was like, joking. I was just saying that to give you guys some, cliffhanger. I'm coming back and stuff like that.
Definitely, yeah.
And I have a feeling that what's going to happen. So you watched it, right? Did you see the end credit scene?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw all of it.
With Venom and how he went back to his universe, but like some of the
Yes,
symbiote
yes,
got
yes,
left
yes, yes.
behind.
Hmm.
Uh, Me and one of my managers, he's also a huge Spider-Man fan, so we've been talking about this fucking movie for weeks. Well,
Uh-huh.
since I saw it,
Yeah.
we have a theory that with these next 3 movies, because as much as Tom Holland loves the character, he can't play it forever, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, and so there's a theory that what's going to happen is that there's 3 more movies, and the next one is going to most likely be like probably some kind of just like first kind of like with the whole reboot with the new suit, no one knowing who he is, he's living on his own, kind of introduction movie,
Yeah.
and then that will lead into the second one, which will most likely have something to do with like Venom and some maybe like some other villains returning too, like maybe like Vulture or maybe like Scorpion, because we like got hinted at Scorpion in the first Homecoming, but like he never actually came to be a villain.
Hmm.
And it's like the whole symbiote thing happens maybe, and he becomes Venom and fights Venom and shit like that. Uh, and then the last movie could be like like a true, honest Sinister Six movie, but we see like his version of the Sinister Six. So like
Right.
his
Yeah.
Vulture, his Mysterio, maybe if Mysterio's still alive, Scorpion, Venom, whatever. And then something happens in that movie that introduces Miles Morales, because Tom Holland himself has said that he really wants to bring Miles Morales into the MCU, and
I
I
did
was
hear that. Yeah.
fucking love that.
And that's what I kept hearing. A lot of people thought was going to happen in this movie, but I was like, "There's no way that they're going to
No, I knew they
like
wouldn't
do
do that
that
in
on
this
top
movie.
of everything else. Like that would have been
No,
too much. You know what I mean? This
I
was
did
already
like
a lot to
I did
stomach.
like the little hint at it
Yeah, they nodded at it. Yeah, I got
when
that.
Electra was like, honest, I thought you would be black, and I was like,
Yeah,
hey, Miles.
yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. Yeah, man.
um, it was just so good
It
though.
was really good. Brendan, I can tell you're
Uh,
really passionate about this, but we are probably running out of time. I
yeah,
hate
you're
to cut
probably
you off.
right.
I hate to
No,
cut you
you're
off.
good. I could talk about this shit for hours.
Yeah, I don't. I did want to make this episode sort of short. I didn't want to have 2 hour long episodes back to back. Hopefully we don't, but it's okay if we do. But either way, really excited for what the direction that they're taking the MCU. Really excited for Multiverse of Madness. Obviously, that's coming out
Yeah,
soon. Um, yeah, so I guess we'll see where it goes. Anyway, that concludes the. I'm gonna say that concludes the first episode of Chit Chat Season 2. Brennan, thank you for being here as always.
probably
Hope
like an hour long, isn't it?
we'll see. But thank you for being here. Hope you'll stick around for the whole season. Don't
Jokes on you. My contract's up in 2 episodes. No.
I renewed it for you. So yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I think we'll see you guys in the next episode of Chit Chats. Bye bye,
Bye.
and Happy New Year, by the way.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.